State of Wisconsin versus Jonathan Hayes, 20 CF 2413. State of Wisconsin versus Willie Watson, 20 CF 2414. Appearances, please.
ADA Mike Schindholm appears for the state via Zoom. Good morning, everyone.
Carrie Cleghorn appears on behalf of Jonathan Hayes. He is in custody. I would ask that his appearance be waived.
Willie Watson is in custody. I'm asking for his appearance to be waived. He appears by Attorney Glenn Givens.
All right, appearances are waived. We're here for a status or scheduling. What do we anticipate accomplishing today? How do you want the matter set?
Your Honor, I spoke with my client, I think yesterday or the day before, whenever I sent the email to Mr. Schindholm. He wants to resolve this matter. We are currently in negotiations, and so that's kind of where we're at.
All right, so I want to set his matter then for a plea date. Attorney Cleghorn?
Your Honor, I can tell you that I spoke with my client yesterday morning. At this point in time, he has advised me that he may be willing to resolve this matter. I have not communicated this at all to the ADA, so we need time to discuss that. I would ask for whatever the court would prefer to call it, if you prefer it PGP, knowing that at this point it's an idea more than an understanding. I would be comfortable with that given all the circumstances. If you prefer to schedule it for status, I'd leave that up to Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Givens' case, Attorney Givens, your client, I will set his for a plea. Attorney Cleghorn, why don't we set your client's case for a plea as well? Do you all prefer to do it in person or on Zoom? If it's just for a plea, can we do them on Zoom?
That's fine.
That's
Eileen, does that work better for us? I think our in-court dates are full through the end of the year.
We do have time November 11th for in-person pleas if interested.
I believe I'm in a speedy trial starting on the 9th in front of Judge Childs.
Okay, Zoom works too.
I mean, who knows what's happening with any trial, so if you want.
Why don't we just give you the date, and in the event that you're in that trial, we'll give you a new date. Attorney Givens, does that day work for you in person in the safety building?
November 9th?
I think November 11th, she said.
Oh, November 11th. Hopefully I'll be finishing up a jury trial by that day, so yeah, that works.
It's good for the state.
Do we want them set at the same time or stagger them?
I think probably a half hour apart would be good.
Yes.
Okay. Would you prefer the afternoon since you're both going to be finishing up trials?
Yes.
Wait a second, Eileen, we went up 9, 10, 11.
Yes.
Do we believe that any of those are in-person days?
The 11th is an in-person day.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so 1:30 and 2 o'clock.
Okay, who's 2 o'clock?
Whoever wants it.
I'll take it. Willie Watson.
Okay. Does that work for you, Cleghorn?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Givens, was there one other thing?
You're talking about the letters?
I was just curious. Yeah, I don't know if we needed to discuss that. It just seemed a little odd.
I can explain. I think I can explain it if you feel we need to make a record on it.
We brought up the letter, I think, before you got on the screen.
All right, as long as it's been discussed, Judge.
Yeah.
And just so everybody's aware, that must have, I know it was indicated that was Mr. Givens' client. That wasn't filed on my case, so if it's something I need to know about, somebody should.
No, it's more, Judge, here's what's happening. We're not having in-person contact. So sometimes those booths where we meet, you have to scream at one another to try to get any of Ms. Cleghorn to tell you. And sometimes you just can't hear them at all. I have no idea what he may have interpreted me saying. I don't have a clue.
I thought he was, the way I read the letter, and I don't know how anybody else read it, I thought he was trying to assist co-actor and had concerns about maybe his co-actor's counsel. But, you know, I read it pretty quickly. Attorney Schindholm, I don't know how you interpreted it.
It sounded like he had a coming through the third party, it sounded like there might be an issue between Mr. Givens and Mr. Watson, but I try never to get involved in that sort of thing. I just.
Yeah, and
only
I've
Mr.
gotten
Givens
along.
did.
I've gotten along with my client. I spoke, like I said, he called me the other day on the phone. We spoke. He indicated he wanted to resolve this matter, and that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, like I said before, those booths up there in the criminal justice facility are horrible. You can hardly hear your client, and you have to almost, I mean, you have to get certain spots where the sound actually goes through the speaker. The speakers are shot. So I think there was just some kind of miscommunication, and then he miscommunicated that to someone else, and they wrote a letter. But my client and I are getting along fabulously, and there's no problems.
Okay, yeah, I was having a little issue figuring out when he was talking about who was illiterate and who was writing the letter and the smeared up discovery and everything. And I mean, I didn't put much weight in it, but you know, I obviously take a look.
And the first set of discovery I printed off real fast. When I took up there, I realized that some of the sheets had come out kind of crooked and whatnot. So I took him another set. I took him a second set up there a couple weeks ago. So it's all that's fine. It should be.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, next court date as to Jonathan Hayes, case 20 CF 2413 will be November 11th at 1:30 for projected guilty plea. And next court date for Willie Watson, case 20 CF 2414 will be November 11th at 2 o'clock for projected guilty plea.
All right,
All right.
everybody, have a good weekend. Stay
You
safe.
too. Thank you, Judge.